Today's lesson on section 3.3 is about solving multi-step equations. So as you can see here, we went ahead and we put together um, the steps that you need to use in order to solve multi-step equations. So where are my markers at right now? Step one, whenever you're going to solve multi-step equations, is always going to be to distribute if you can. Okay. Step two will be to combine like terms. Three will be to add or subtract to isolate the variable term. And when we say add or subtract, we mean to go ahead and get rid of the constant term. And then the last step for solving multi-step equations is to multiply or to divide to isolate the variable. Okay, so we have these four steps here. We can keep referring back to them. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a few examples on how to go through and solve the following equations. Okay, as we've done in the past, a lot of times we'll take and we will draw in a line right here through our equal sign, just to separate the equation into two halves. You have your left side, and then you have your right side here. Okay, so step one, it's always going to be to distribute if you can. Now, with this example, there is no distribution, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to bypass step number one and move to step number two, which is combine like terms. Okay, so you'll notice on this side we have a 3a here, and that is a positive 3a, and we have a positive 2a. So there's your like terms. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add those two together. So 3a's plus 2a's is going to give you 5a. And then we can go ahead and cross those out because we're done with them. Okay, so we have 5a, we bring down my plus 7, bring down my equal sign, and it equals 12. So we did step 2, we combine like terms. All right, step 3 is to add or subtract to isolate the variable term. So really what we're meaning is we want to take this constant term and we want to do the opposite of what we see. So we're going to minus 7 here, and we also have to do the minus 7 on the right-hand side of my equation to balance it. Okay, your plus 7 and your minus 7, those two go to 0, so they cancel out, and you bring down your 5a. Okay, bring down your equal sign, and then you actually do 12 minus 7 over here, so you're going to end up with 12 minus 7 is 5. Move on to step 4, multiply or to divide to isolate the variable. Right now, in between 5 and a, we have a multiplication. All right, so we're going to do the opposite of that, like you always do the opposite. We're going to divide by 5 here and divide by 5 here, and we're going to end up with my answer because 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we're left with 1a is equal to 5 divided by 5 is 1. We're going to box that answer right there. Okay, so that's what we're doing to solve multi-step equations. Let's go ahead and let's do number 2 right here. All right, this will be another example we do with combining like terms. All right, so we're going to take a look at my like terms. You have a 9n, and then you have a plus n, and remember there is a 1 here. Okay, so 9n's plus 1n's gives me 10n. Cross it off, bring down my minus 4, and it equals 16. Now remember, again, if you'd like to go ahead and draw a line through there to separate both sides, you can do that. Okay? Step 3 for this equation. All right, add or subtract to isolate the variable term. So I'm going to do the opposite of what I see here. I'm going to add 4. I'm going to add 4 to get rid of my constant. I'm going to bring down my 10n. So I have 10n. That goes to 0 equals, and then you do 16 plus 4 gives you 20. Step 4 now, divide. We're going to get this out of here. We're going to divide by 10. And you never, ever, ever divide by the variable. You only divide by the coefficient in front of the variable. Right, this side by 10. That cancels out to 1. And you have n is equal to 2. Okay? All right, let's check out a few more examples down here towards the bottom. All right, let's take a look at number 5. All right, number 5. If we go ahead and draw in our line, all right, we got my left-hand side and we got my right-hand side. On my left-hand side this time, we have a problem where we're going to have to go ahead and distribute. Okay? Now, most students will make the mistake of doing 9 plus 4 right here, but we don't want to do that. We want to put the 4 in here. We want to distribute the 4 here. Okay? When you do that, you're going to get 4 times x, which is 4x, plus 4 times 1 would give me 4. All right, the 9 stays out front, and that was a positive 4x, and it equals 25. So we did distribution then. All right, next we want to go to combine some like terms. So you'll notice in this one you have a positive 9 and you have a positive 4 that can go together. All right, so you're going to write your variable term first, so bring down your 4x, and then you do 9 and 4 together would give you plus 13, and it equals 25. All right, now we're just down to two-step equations where we're going to subtract the 13 out, subtract the 13 here. We end up with 4x, 13's cancel out, and then you do 25 minus 13 is going to give you 12. And the last step always is to divide here. So we're going to divide and divide. Cancels out, you're left with x is equal to 3. And that is distribution. All right. Let's take a look at number 11 here. I want to do an example of when we have a fraction that we're supposed to distribute. Okay, a lot of people will take and they will put it here and put it here, and that's one way that we could do it. When you distribute 1/4 in, you get 1/4 x. All right, and then you have a positive times a negative, and 1/4 times 8 actually gives you, all right, 2. So you end up with a integer there. Okay, and it all equals 7. Now we're just down to our two-step equation, all right, where you're going to go ahead and you're going to add 2 here, add 2 here, and you end up with this. 1/4 x, 2's cancel out, equals 9. Then remember what we want to do is instead of dividing by a fraction, we want to multiply by the reciprocal, and multiply by the reciprocal over here. So we're going to end up with 1/4, and 4 over 1 cancel out. X is equal to 9 times 4 gives me 36 over 1, and it continues to be 36. So that right there is one way to do it. Okay? Another way to do this problem, which I actually like to do myself, is you have x minus 8, and then you have equals 7. I don't like to distribute the 1/4 in there because sometimes it turns out to be a real messy number. So what you can do is you can take, and the first step you can do is you can multiply this side by the reciprocal, which means you're going to multiply this side by the reciprocal. 1/4 and 4 over 1 cancel out, and you're actually left with here, all right, x minus 8 equals 7 times 4 gives me 28. All right, add 8 here, add 8 on this side, get rid of, to isolate your variable, x equals 46. You can go ahead and decide which way you want to do that. Okay? This has been your lesson in solving multi-step equations. If you want more practice on the parent portal, there is always extra worksheets.